And what's cracking, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. I am Bumblebee is in here. How's it going? He says, I finally made it to one live stream. Good to have you in here. This is a impromptu live stream. How's it going, handsome? Sean Dexter in the house. Let's go. Could you let me know if the link is working a-okay? Because the past few times the link, well, we all know what happened to that, right? It's awfully quiet in here. I mean, then again, it's a weekend, it's a Saturday. Everyone's out with family, as they should be, But we're just going to be dissecting some charts today. I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself on a timer. How about that? So if you guys, for those of you who are in here, if y'all do have like, I'll take a couple of, let's say, altcoin requests. All right, I got my timer in. Cool beans, cool beans. Megatron, how's Cardano looking? I actually did do a dedicated video on Cardano. Okay, let's begin. Okay, I'm glad. Welcome, guys. It's been a while. It's been a minute, eh? It's been a minute. So with that, let's cue the intro in 3, 2, 1. And what's cracking, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. How's everybody doing today? Like I said, today is gonna be one of those days where I've not really come here with a set agenda. What we're going to be doing though is well, just going through a bunch of charts together, because I understand everyone is a bit apprehensive right now, right? Everyone's at this we're at this spot in the cycle where, you know how back when we were sort of basically reversing right here, you know, and if I had to come to you and ask you about the odds, what are the odds of us actually heading into a bull run versus a bear market, or rather the bear market continuing? I think it would be people would be leaning more towards, okay, the odds are in that we see a reversal right here, right? The odds are pretty good. So decisions, when it comes to allocation decisions, gets easier at certain junctures of the market. However, because we're so far into the bull market, I understand the apprehension, right? People are wondering, damn it, do we continue? Do we reverse? What's going on? So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going over some charts just together. So I'll just go rapid. Okay, we're just going to go one after the other. How's that? How's that for the Saturday live stream? What I'm going to do is, though, just so that I keep myself in check, because I tend to talk a lot. Sean would agree. Sean would agree. I'm going to put myself on a timer. Okay, so let's go. Start that timer. Okay, brilliant. And before we begin, guys, I want to let you all know that because, well, we are still, personally, if you ask me, gun to my head, Krisha, are we still in a bull market, or are we heading into bear market territory? Guys, for me, right now, gun to my head, I'm saying bull market still. Okay, bull market still. So I'm still positioned according to, well, with the hypothesis that we are still in a bull run. Okay, and with that being said, for those of you, we are actually going to start the $1,000 giveaways once again. I get it, the mood is a bit like, you know, tempered down, and which is why we want to kind of get the excitement, sort of, you know, ignite the excitement again. So we're going to be starting the $1,000 giveaways once again, and all you got to do is, well, just make sure you sign up for an account on Bitunix using the link in the description below. Okay, and hey, if you deposit 50, you can either deposit 50, or if you're already trading on Bitunix, you automatically qualify for the $1,000 giveaway. So in the next live stream, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be spinning the wheel as we did before, and well, the top winners win, well, they win. Okay, how's that? So every live stream, we're going to have a $1,000 giveaway. Sounds good? Okie doke. So with that, also, once again, welcome. What we're going to do first is we're going to start off with Bitcoin. Okay, like I said, I just want to go through one chart after the other. I want to start off with Bitcoin primarily because Bitcoin is the index of this market. If you ever want to determine whether we're still in a bull run or we're heading into bear market territory, it's very, very important to figure out where Bitcoin's at relative to its cyclical indicators. It's the same thing that got us into the trade in the first place. All right, Sean actually brought this up to your attention. He posted this on the Discord chat. He posted it on Twitter. He says, buy here. Literally, at $17,000. He's like, buy here. He's literally got an arrow. But that was all based on cyclical levels and certain plays and certain setups that we saw Bitcoin actually, well, we saw it unfolding on the chart. Now, once again, if we have to look at price action based on those same cyclical indicators, right, the first one we're looking at is the biweekly dynamic support. So let's go ahead and turn that on. All right. Now, this is the biweekly dynamic support. What a freaking run so far. It's been so neat. You know, you look at it in hindsight, you're like, damn, this actually, all you had to do was just follow the system. But once again, as far as price relative to that biweekly dynamic support, well, are we above or are we under, guys? Are we above or are we under? We're above. We're still clear of that, okay? I'm not going to be flipping bearish. I'm not going to be flipping bearish up until and unless we actually lose that bottom line of that dynamic support. Now, for those of you, you don't need the indicator, okay? I'm going to basically, every time I cover Bitcoin, I'll be giving you guys the levels. But right now, this, the bottom of the biweekly dynamic comes in at around $92,942. All right, let's go ahead and mark that out. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this the bear market zone. Bear market break zone. Boom. Oh, I should put a number in there. Krisha, silly. Let me get the precise numbers. That's 92. Let's just round up to 93. 93K. That way it's in our face. Okay, now this is one thing I really, really like about the cycle. Okay, this cycle so far, if you really have to be fair with it, no bias, it's been a very healthy cycle. It's been an extraordinarily healthy cycle, right? We are still, like, price relative to its cyclicals, we're still well within that equilibrium range. We haven't really shot up as we did in the prior cycles. And I think a really good, sort of visual of this, I believe, is BTCD. Yeah, no, not Bitcoin dominance. What are you looking at, Krisha? Is it this? Man, I have so many charts. It's ridiculous. It should be, okay, I'm losing my chart. But, give me a second. I have such a good depiction of this. Oh, no, it's right here. It's right here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is it. Clearly, I've been scribbling all over. But no, I've been talking to you guys about the linear and exponential phases of every bull and bear market so far, right? I think I had drawn this out for the seedlings, so we had the mastermind call. So I found some really cool systems on here. But every bull run so far, we've had like these linear phases and exponential phases of the bull run, right? So in, as you can see in 2011, we had linear and then it went exponential, but it's usually in that exponential phase where everything just goes out of equilibrium. So far this cycle, guys, we're still well within that linear phase. Like you can actually draw like y equals mx plus b lines right here, okay? We're still very much in the linear phase. We haven't really gotten that volatility push that Bitcoin often gets in every single bull run. So far, Bitcoin relative to its levels, I mean, it looks solid in that. Say we do reverse from here, I think it's going to keep everybody safe. Oftentimes when a reversal comes to you, you're pretty much giving almost like 40% back to the market in profits. Right now, if it reverses from here, you need to understand that the, we have the biweekly dynamic coming in at $93,000, very, very, very close. Well, very close to where price is at right now. And not just that, even the monthly 10 simple moving average, if we go ahead and look at that indicator as well. Okay, let me just go ahead and turn off all my other lines. The monthly 10 simple moving average is one other cyclical indicator that's often been keeping us on the right side of every bull market as well as every bear market so far. Right, that is coming in at $99,000. It's never been this good. So even if we do break, okay, let's just consider the case where we do break, right? We break 99K. We know that, okay, you know what? We've been invalidated on the entire bull run. Right, at which point you can, if you want to start taking profits off the table, you can, and you can do so safely without giving much back to the market. Okay, I'm just going to go through the chat. But I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts in, well, price action relative to its cyclicals? What do you guys think? Are we out of equilibrium right now? Sean says the monthly dynamic would be a tad bit too late, but still works for SNR resistance for maybe a short trade. Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, guys, I don't know, are you guys following Sean on Twitter? Or even Sean on the Discord chat? Like, he's been giving you guys a lot of alpha. Like, he's been so in tune with this entire market so far. It's been extraordinary, right? Now, I've been very, very lucky to just have him at home and, he, you know, having his, well, his thesis and his hypothesis first before anyone else. And believe it or not, like, this cycle, like, he's been so in tune with Bitcoin such that we've had a lot more times where we've been on opposite sides of the spectrum only to find his hypothesis actually playing out. And they've been playing out very, very well. Even this pullback that we've had this month of August, consider this. If you really have to go back into many of the analysis that you saw prior to the month of August, like if you're looking at, you know, analysis from July, basically just across the board, what was the average sentiment? What was the average, let's say, the point of intersection with all the analysis out there? Many analysts were saying that, hey, we're likely going to see a pullback getting in the month of September. So everyone was calling pullback in the month of September, right? Now, just what, Sean, 3-4 weeks ago, Sean actually posted a, a video, like a premium video for the seedlings, as well as he was being very vocal about his thoughts on, hey, you know what, we might not get the pullback in September, but instead we could get it earlier in the month of August. And he had a thesis primarily around the, cycle theory, right? Now, Sean's been noticing the 180-day cycle theory, and based on that, he's like, you know what we might end up seeing is a low being put in the month of September. Right? So while everyone was hoping, or rather looking for the markets to turn in September, what we could be seeing in September instead is the low being established in September. So the markets would have turned in August, only for the low to be established in September. All right, and so far, I mean, it's been working out, right? So yeah, massive, you guys need to be following Sean on Twitter as well as on the Discord chat, like catch his analysis. And for those of you in the Mango Seed program, you guys have like exclusive access to many of his, his premium content. So make sure you guys are keeping up with that. But yeah, as far as Bitcoin is concerned, guys, monthly and bi-weekly cyclicals were still a-okay. So as far as if Bitcoin is looking good relative to the bi-weekly dynamic support, as well as relative to the monthly 10-step moving average, I'm saying bull market intact. Okay, that's all we need to know. Now, if Bitcoin's bull run is intact, what does that mean for the altcoins? What does that mean for the altcoins? If the bull run is intact, the altcoins can still get into its bull, or rather their bull run. So as far as altcoin season is concerned, we could very well still see an altcoin season, right? I will only start negating the entire idea of an altcoin season, or rather just like stepping away from that idea, is when I know for a fact that, hey, Bitcoin is in a bear market. If I see Bitcoin in a bear market, I'm like, all season, no, done. Okay, I'm not, my head is not even going there. All right. So as far as the altcoins are concerned, I think there are a few charts that I am looking at, and I really want to bring this to your attention. Number one, Bitcoin dominance. Right, oftentimes when the alt season has to start, historically, when it has begun, you'll find that the altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin in those seasons. So in that altcoin season, you'll find that those altcoins that have been running, they run faster and harder than Bitcoin. Okay, so between the two assets, yeah, you're better off being in that certain altcoin for that season. Okay, you're making more money there is essentially what I'm trying to say. So Bitcoin dominance often gives you a an idea of that. Are we heading into an altcoin season? Because in Bitcoin dominance falls, you know that, okay, the altcoins are likely picking up steam here, but it's not as binary as that, right? There's a recipe for an altcoin season. You want to see Bitcoin dominance falling while your altcoins are running. So while the altcoins are pumping and Bitcoin dominance is falling, it's telling you that, hey, your altcoin is running harder than Bitcoin right now. Okay. So as far as the recipe is concerned, yes, I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance to fall, but along with this, I'm looking at one more key chart. Now, this is something that I've been bringing up on almost every single altcoin video I've been doing so far, which is total 2. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up total 2. Why am I looking at total 2? Well, it's been pretty sick so far. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. For total 2 represents the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is not included in this mix. And the observation that I've made here is this. So far, historically, every single altcoin season, like the one we had in 2017, as well as the one that we had in 2021, there's been this one level that every time price takes out, we're heading into altcoin season. All right. So, and this is the level. So essentially what you want to see price do, okay, what you want to see this chart, I don't want to say price because that's the wrong representation of the word. What you want to see total market, you want to see the total market cap essentially break that previous resistance, break the previous high that it put in before. Okay, so we did it right here in 2017. As soon as we took out the high, that's when the altcoins started to rally. But it was not just that the altcoins started rallying, it was the fact that they were also outperforming Bitcoin. It was the fact that we were also in that altcoin season. We just sort of initiated that altcoin season. Right, but that's the recipe we want to look for. We want to see total 2 break its resistance to the upside, so take out that previous all-time high, as well as Bitcoin dominance falling. Now we know, I just showed you the Bitcoin dominance chart. That is already tanking, right? That is already sort of broken trend. We're currently in a downtrend. So we have the first ingredient for the altcoin season. The second ingredient is this chart right here. I don't care what altcoin you're trading right now. You could be trading XRP, you could be trading Cardano, you could be trading XLM, I don't care. All right, you want the altcoin season recipe, it's hinged on this. So I'm looking for this chart to break out of that previous all-time high. And the same thing, it was like a rinse repeat right here in this altcoin season of 2021 as well, right? You know that, hey, prices, total crypto market cap, total 2 rather, actually took out that previous all-time high as it did right here. So we're looking for a confirmed close, and this was off to the races. But it was during this period right here, all right, where the altcoins actually started outperforming Bitcoin in earnest. All right, you guys can go back and actually trace this. Now this, we broke out back here in Jan of 2021. Go and look at your altcoin in Jan of 2021. You find that most of them were outperforming Bitcoin in that period. Okay, so we got the same thing right here. Now, as far as this cycle is concerned, do we have the signal? Right? Do we have the signal? And I'm looking at this on the monthly time frame. I think it's important that I tell you what time frame I'm looking at it on. But the monthly time frame is where I'm looking for that break. Now, we are about a day away from the monthly close, right? If this can close over, what was this? The market cap is 1.55 trillion in market cap. We might have just gotten the signal, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I want to see total 2 close over that key region of resistance. If we can see this, eyes on the prize, eyes on the altcoins, and I've been going through the charts right now with all of you guys on the daily videos. These altcoins are, yeah, they're all pulling back right now, but I think we can all agree that they're all well above their cyclicals. In fact, they're giving you a test of many of those cyclical supports. So this is one chart I'm going to be watching like a hawk getting into the month of September. This right here could be the tell. All right, so total 2 taking out that previous all-time high plus Bitcoin dominance falling. We already know the Bitcoin dominance is broken trend. One ingredient you can check off your list. This right here is the second one. Okay, so now with this, a human design coach says, nice W pattern in 2021. Yeah, and you know what? Daniel, right? Daniel. It's been playing out. Like, this is one other video that I did do. I'm not sure who I think I did it for the seedlings. I think I presented it somewhere. But these patterns play out really well. Like, they work out exceptionally well. You guys can go back and do the back test, not just on this one, not just on this chart, but you can also do it on Bitcoin. These macro patterns that you see form on the monthly time frame, these patterns cannot be painted. Right? This is years of price action. It's difficult to paint these patterns. You cannot. All right? So when it comes to the macro patterns, I want you guys to start taking them very seriously. All right? Because these measured moves could mean so much more in profits for you guys. Right? So eyes on the prize. I get that people are getting spooked out right now. And, you know, this is something that Sean, the other day I was feeling a bit, I'm like, screw this market. Like, it just doesn't feel like a bull market vibe. I think we can all agree. Like, you look at this market, right? Let's go back on over to Bitcoin's chart very quickly. You look at this market, and you're like, yeah, it's been running, right? It's been running. You're supposed to be, you look at this in hindsight. If you say 2 years down the line, you're looking at this entire run in hindsight. I need a freaking clear chart, man. Okay, there we go. You're looking at this entire run in hindsight, and you're like, damn, yeah, that was a bull market, right? That was a bull market. But if I really had to ask you guys, over the past, like, since 2023, if I had to ask you, has it felt like a bull market, what would you tell me? Has it felt like a bull market? Honestly, for me, I don't think that excitement was there. You know, that bull market excitement? I feel like this entire bull market has been climbing a wall of worry. This bull market has literally been clawing at this wall of worry throughout, from 2023 to where we're at. It's been a crazy time. It's been a crazy time. But yeah, I was feeling a bit like let's say, I'm like, this bull run doesn't feel right. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. But yeah, we'll come back we'll come back to that thought. What I'm gonna do though is I want to check out Bitcoin on the dashboard. Right now we have shorts across the board. 4-hour, however, flashing 86 on volatility. So we could see the bears start getting tired on the 4-hour time frame. So that's something to note. However, that being said, 12-hour daily 2-day, those volatility profiles are looking rather healthy. Okay. So I want you guys to start paying attention to that. So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, it's telling us that, you know what, we could still see a bit more oomph to the downside from the bears. So that's something to watch out for. Where would I personally look for? Where are we relative to weekly? Weekly dynamic also sitting right here. I say 103. We could very well come down to 103. TikTok. Okay, yeah, my bad, guys. Sorry, I'm just going through the chat, guys. What are we talking? How's it going, Wolvie? Is it possible for Bitcoin to make the top before altcoin season? Yeah, that is possible. Not before altcoin season, but oftentimes you see Bitcoin does sort of top out, and the altcoins still have one more last hurrah if you sort of go through the historic price action. Abby says the long waiting game seems to be never ending this time, but excited. What do you mean by long waiting game? I'm guessing you're talking about the altcoin season. For those of you considering, I'm noticing the conversation here, for those of you considering seed versus dynamic, just, guys, invest in your education. I cannot, this is for G, right? Invest in the education first. I honestly, every single indicator you get after that is going to be that much more powerful, that much more potent. There is no indicator that can actually replace or rather substitute for your knowledge on technicals. Like when it comes to the seed program especially, that risk management system alone is going to set you apart and set you up for every single trade you take. I don't care what industry it's in, whether you're trading crypto, you're trading TradFi, it doesn't matter, right? That one risk management system is going to set you apart and really, really help you stay profitable, all right? And also help you understand when it's time to cut losses and keep you in the game, because ultimately that's what trading is about. Godzilla. Okay, he says I'm being ignored. I'm sorry, I'm just going through the chat right now, so there's like a lot. Harmony 1. Okay, we'll go over a few of the altcoins. Okay, let's actually start going over the altcoins now. Hey, thank you, Daniel. He says, you guys are really creating great content. We don't really, he said, where are you from, by the way? We don't really disclose location for safety purposes. Okay, let's do XRP. Okay, I'm going to do this very quickly. XRP on the dashboard first. I'm always going to tell you guys to start with the dashboard first, especially times like this. Prices are melting down. You're like, are we going to bounce? How low? Check the dashboard for how low. Shorts from the 4-hour to the daily time frame. Volatility still very, very healthy. Tell me that, okay, the bears could still see a bit more oomph, so they still have a bit more juice left in them. All right, and also watch out for the dashboard trends, because think about it. Dashboard gave you guys the bearish call 2 weeks ago. If you manage to catch a trade on that, a short trade for that matter, you're already up on that trade by a good 9%. Right? However, another way to look at this is that it's also going to help you understand when is it time to be taking profits off the table. Because what this 9% also tells you is how much you saved in losses. Okay, so watch for that. XRP right now, I mean, I had the bid zone for you guys, right? This is primarily hinged on the weekly dynamic support, which, well, has been like amazing in really calling every single bull market for the past few cycles now. Even this one as well, like it's been keeping you on the right side. So right now I'm looking at this entire zone, $2.9, $2.90, going down to $2.60 is your bid zone for XRP. There was a bit of a descending triangle formation, right? This was it right here. Now, this, of course, on the break is going to take you much lower than $2.60. However, this is one thing, when I see bearish patterns in bull markets, I'm always going to give that macro support more priority than the bear pattern, right? I'm better off just playing this entire move to the downside as soon as we start breaking $2.60. It's just easier, right? Because this could still very well come all the way down here to $2.60 and bounce, right? And then suddenly you're looking at a whole different structure. But yeah, right now dashboard is saying that you can look for lower. Honestly, I think the bears are going to come for these lows. They're going to come and tap that liquidity right there. Absolutely. Who was that? Godzilla asked for Harmony 1. Let's go ahead and check that out as well. 1 BTC. Where's 1 USD on this? Okay, but what's okay? Well, do you guys hear my beep? Okay, that's my beeper mark. Cool. This is not looking good. Relative to Bitcoin, it's been doing very, very bad. It has been doing bad for some time. But let's actually go ahead and look at it relative to, what's this? USD. That's not a good chart. It's bad. Bad, 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 bad. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I can create an entire tune with just the word no. No, guys. No, 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 no. Bad chart. Very, very bad chart. Like, even though a lot of the coins have been running, like they've had like these mini trends, even in the month of November, many of them rallied. When you see a coin like this, that's pretty much been in sideways action, I mean, that's like that's stable coin price action. Don't. This is opportunity cost. You get into things like this, opportunity cost. So no, this is not looking good. There are better opportunities out there. Let's do ADA quickly. See, this is the thing. ADA looks good relative to weekly. Okay, I'm looking at this entire weekly support right here. Looking good. ADA's ETF thing got postponed to October, the end of October. So that's one thing to note about ADA. However, you know, the thing was that the headline was that ADA's ETF got postponed. However, prices still rallied. You know, when you have these sort of signals, these are signals, by the way, when price either holds or hell even rallies after bearish news, that's a signal in that, hey, you know what, we might start seeing animal spirits either start picking up, or one less is another way to think about this is that the people who are holding ADA are no longer willing to sell at these prices. They're not willing to sell any lower. Okay, so when you look at these markets, it's always about buyer-seller price action. Think of the buyer-seller dynamics. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes, put yourself in the seller's shoes as well. So if you're a buyer, try to understand the seller, okay? Because this is a zero-sum game. For every time you win, someone else is losing. For every time you lose, someone else is winning. ADA USD, once again, shorts across the board. Healthy volatility readings, man. Which means the bears rather, still have a bit more juice on those let's say, the mid time frames. Okay, so this is a daily right now. We could start seeing a tap into this entire zone right here. Oops, this is it. This goes in from 80 cents down to 76 cents. All right, this is your zone. That's your tap zone. Also, once again, guys, if you're looking at trade on, well, if you're take any of these trades on these regions of support right now, okay, you're looking to catch the bounces on the weekly supports, and you're still on the hunt for a good exchange, then we are using Bitunix, so you guys can go ahead and check them out. We're going to be starting, once again, the $1,000 giveaways starting in the next live stream. So I'll be doing the whole spin the wheel thing once again, and yeah, whoever wins, wins. It's going to be live for everybody, so I'll also be including the instructions on how you guys can sort of sign up for the $1,000 giveaway in the description below, so go ahead and check that out. And also, the deposit bonuses are back, so if you deposit $2,000, let me go ahead and see it. Okay, there it is. Yeah, if you deposit $2,000, you get $400 back. $1,000, you get $200 back. So these bonuses, guys, can help you really, really buffer against any losses that you take. Right? It's going to help you buffer against losses, and if prices picks up, well, you get to maximize your profits to the upside as well, all right, because it adds to your position. And also, there are some really cool prizes you can win now. There's an AirPods Max, clearly I'm not an iPhone user, MacBook Pro, Rolex Oyster Perpetual. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. This is going to be running for the entire month of September. But yeah, take advantage of it, guys. I'll do 2 more requests. Let's go. Is there anything else? Let's also look at it. Oh my goodness. Doomer says, where can I buy the dashboard? You can find it on the mangoway.com. No, sorry, app.mangoresearch.com. I'm so used to the mangoway.com. But no, it's also the mangoway.com/dashboard, but to one better, app.mangoresearch.co. Let me sort of link it right here. Yeah, start using the dashboard, guys. Because a lot of times people are like, okay, how much lower? How much lower? Should I buy now? Should I buy now? Use the volatility readings. They've been pretty freaking on point. Let's do Sui. I want to see some good charts, guys. Let's find some really good charts. Do you see that trend line? Shorts across the board, volatility, guys. Volatility very healthy. Okay, the bears have the edge here on the lower time frames from the 4-hour to the daily time frame. bears have the edge. If you caught any of these trends to the downside, I mean, you're up on those trades already. If you're one other way to look at it is that you've saved yourself that much in losses. All right, pay attention to the dashboard, guys. Okay, this looks like it's going to come down to test this trend line right here. Okay, we're looking at $3. Yeah, also in line with the position manager level. Position manager, guys, use it because a lot of times people are wondering, how do I DCA into my trades, right? What if you miss your trade on the dynamic support? How do you DCA and what's that safe level? How much lower can you start DCAing before you know that, okay, the trend is bust? Well, that position manager, the start bidding and end bidding, that's your position manager. For as long as your bids are spread across that region, you're fine. Okay, if it's out of that region, you need to stop your DCA activity. For those of you who do not know what I mean by DCA, it's called dollar cost averaging. Okay, so that gives you an objective zone. That's how you look at it. It gives you an objective zone to build your positions on. All right, so ideally, this is likely going to come down here. This bid right here is at $3.01. You honestly, for this one, I want to see something like this. Because then think of what we're looking at. We're looking at an ascending triangle formation right there. Wanderlust Asia, where's Dexter? Yeah, I miss him too. He's right here. He's in the chat. Okay, XLM quickly for Blag. Yes, sir. Shorts 4-hour daily. Volatility, honestly, Blag, it's kind of healthy. I think this can come down a bit more. This can definitely come down a bit more. Man, those daily trends have been so on point, eh? Like this entire trend to the downside. Now, Sean, like if you guys were following Sean, that's how you sort of take all your analysis and sort of put it together. Once again, guys, if you find someone who's like really in tune with like a certain market, listen to them. Right, so Sean's been very in tune. So he called, like, he's like, no, I think August is going to be the red month, right? And then we're going to see the low being established in September. And if you, like, even went in with that thesis and you're seeing these trends change, I mean, daily, look at the day, you take that and then you look at the daily trend flip short, which happened almost a week ago. Caught a trade on that. You're up 14% on that short already. XLM, let's go ahead and check it out. Man. But mind you guys, like we're going through all of these pullbacks and I'm saying, yeah, the bears have the edge, but notice how many of these things are still within their weekly support regions, right? We cannot really flip bearish all in all when we're still holding these cyclicals, because to flip bearish, sure, to flip bearish on the entire cycle is you just simply jumping the gun, right? You also do not want to get trapped. So the one thing I'd say is get greedy on your bids, of course, but flipping completely bearish, I think it's just jumping the gun until we really get the confirmations. Now XLM right here, what was I looking at? Yeah, this is going to come down. We're testing weekly dynamic support once again, and I drew a parallel, in the previous sort of daily video here on XLM. It's like we have this very cool signature. I'm just going to knock this off. Right? That's my second timer. So we're always like consolidating around that weekly dynamic support, right? Until we actually see a rip, hold support again, rip again. But it's usually the consolidation around that weekly dynamic support that are often really good bids to manage. It's very easy to manage those bids. So when you see that bid zone getting tapped again, I'm looking at that as more of a gift. But once again, you know what, even right now, the dashboard is telling you that, okay, we could start seeing a bit more oomph from the bears even still. So you can still get greedy on the bids. As far as the bid is concerned, I think the best score right here would be, man, if you get 32 cents, I think that will be a really good score. Like, I think that would be a really good bid to score, rather. Okay. Yes, Billy Barnes, is there a video on how to use the dashboard? Yes, there is. So as soon as you sign up, there's an entire tutorial section right here. There's a guide. So if you just click on guide, you'll get all the tutorial videos for the dashboard. But no, we'll pick up the live stream tomorrow. We're gonna try and be a bit more regular with the live streams because of the juncture of the market that we're in right now. So yeah, just tune into the live streams. But the next one is gonna be a lot more exciting because we're gonna be having the $1,000 giveaway. So get into Bitunix, sign up for an account. All you gotta, there's two ways to qualify. If you already have an account on Bitunix and you're trading, you qualify already. However, if you're new, just deposit 50 and you qualify for the next $1,000 giveaway. That's all you gotta do. Okie dokie, guys. Thank you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was kind of last minute, kind of impromptu. I'm sorry I was all over the place today. The next time I'm going to, well, I feel like I was a bit sloppy with the chat today, so I'm really sorry, guys, for the conversation flow. But the next time I'm going to be a bit more sharp. So yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your weekend. Now with this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the main way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.